Shit show! It's a good show. It's a great show. It's a shit show. Pick a Rick show. Not a Jerry show. Scary Terry show. Lick my balls show. Szechuan sauce show. It's the fucking Rick and Morty fan show, bitch. Crazy guys. Oh my god. I bet everyone watching this mind is now crazy, blown. I don't even know what to say about this episode. It's been a real crazy thing. Anyways, right before we start getting into anything, I just, stuff's going on in the chat already. It's already kind of crazy. Guys, like we're not doing any bullying here. Now, unfortunately, we have on this channel some people who like to try and ruin things for people anyways. And so if anyone's being particularly dickish and just like deciding that they, are going to be confrontational and, kind of like an asshole, it's probably because they're really just trying to get at you. So just ignore that shit, whatever, who cares? I am super happy to have everyone in the chat. We got plenty of people. Once again, if I have to tell you, I'm sorry, guys. This is not the episode of Rick and Morty. This is a review, instant reaction video to the episode. So really happy to have Adrian, the Harmon Hole, Alex Roof. I don't know if Ethan is just a troll or a real person, but, we're glad to have you here anyways. We got Alexander DeMello again in for a couple episodes, so I'm happy that you keep tuning in. We got Cat73, and well, we got 10 people here. I don't know who the other people are, but anyways. What did we just see, guys? What did we just see? It's crazy to me. I don't even know how I'm going to get through this episode because I'm going to be thinking about things while I'm talking right now. Like it's just crazy. So, guys, right off the top, I'm going to talk about some of my thoughts. Let me know what you thought the most interesting thing about this episode was in the chat. And Intel Wild's here. Nice. Let me know what you think the most interesting, controversial, whatever point of the episode is, and we'll be able to go through and talk through all of it. Now, I'm gonna toot my own horn a little bit here for a minute. Who predicted that we would probably get some bird person stuff? I think it was me. Yeah, I whatever. It was a wild guess. I just said between Evil Morty, Space Beth, all the things that people want to happen and they might show us. On the last show that I was on, I predicted they'd probably give us the bird person stuff because Dan Harmon is the voice of bird person, so they can always bring him back. It's easy to do. They can throw him into any episode. It's obvious they like the character. They've thrown him in a bunch of episodes already. He's been even, in the Story Train episode, he had an appearance that didn't need to happen in any way. And I think it's really easy for them to wrap that up. I did not see them doing the Eternal Sunshine of a Spotless Mind episode on him and going into his memories. And Mr. Matt Conway's in the house. Matt, were you able to finish the episode, Matt Conway? I know you started a little bit late. Yeah, so we get this episode, and as soon as I see that Rick, it says, oh, I need to, what did he call it? The best friend rejuvenation protocol. I don't know. He said he didn't name it. Oh, okay. Awesome, Matt. And then the wall flips over. We see bird person. I was like, yes, we are getting this. We're getting what we wanted. A lot of people are going to be very happy. I think it's awesome. I was really excited that they were able to finally get something that people were really asking for. Before we get to that, him talking to his garage was a funny thing throughout the whole episode. The garage said that it would suck his dick, and it said that it would suck off that other dude who came by. Kind of looked like Gene, but it wasn't Gene. I forget who it was. Does anyone remember the character? Luke comes in and says, "Was the fake backstory real?" Because there was a line about Beth dying as a kid. Yeah, I thought that was odd. But I'm not sure exactly if that means that it was his or, what version of him. But the other Rick did say you're one of those, crazy Ricks who goes back and spends time with his daughter's family and everything like that. So I'm not sure what he meant by that. I did see a lot of people in the chat and a lot of people online already talking about that, as if there was some sort of, as if the Beth was dead, but I don't know. That's a very interesting point. But obviously, Beth doesn't die in all the timelines. It's not common that she dies in all the timelines, because the Rick said, you go back and that was also from Bird Person's mind, that Rick saying that. So it's weird to kind of like go back and think about, well, this is the stuff that Bird Person knows. Does Bird Person know the truth? Does he know the truth from this Rick or from that Rick? What timeline does he come from? So I don't think we're going to get any crazy definitive answers out of this episode, because it's all based on what he knows. Like, for instance, Rick could have told Bird Person that Beth was dead at some point when they were being interrogated, or anything like that, to keep that information from Bird Person, and then he never found out the truth about the real Beth. Could be anything like that. So I don't know if we're going to get the truth. There's definitely going to be a whole bunch of theories coming out. I might have to put my own video out after I review this episode a few times. So we get him going through Bird Person's brain, which I thought was really interesting. The first thing he came in, he saw this weird skull and was, saying that, thank God I got my clothes. Like, I thought I'd have to be naked to go through something this artistic. He went down and he passed through some memories. We got them planning out an attack. We got Blood Ridge. We'll talk about that later. We got the concert that they met at, and they kind of teased it a little bit by showing them, and it was definitely the Rick that we had seen with the shaggy type of hair back. I guess it's kind of like my own hair, but shaggy looking hair. And I think a lot of people would notice that right away as the flesh curtains for a version of Rick, or at that age where he did that. There was a stage on there, and he had just met Bird Person. They smoked together. So I think a lot of people threw together that might have been when they had the flesh curtains go on. But they teased it, and then later on they kind of showed us for 5 seconds. We got to see that happened. So that was really neat that we got to see that, and then we got to see them planning out things, and then we saw that Rick from the planning meeting come over. I loved when he walked into the portal, and obviously it makes sense. A Bird Person doesn't really know where they go or where they ever went, so he can't create the memory of them going anywhere, which is kind of it's not definitely going to happen, but anyways. Oh man, I got so many chats. Keep coming in with your interesting parts about this, but the interesting thing too, Bird Person's mind creating the memory of the baby, which I guess was locked out by Tammy and the Federation, because he didn't know about the baby. But then his memory of Tammy also didn't recognize that they had a baby, because that was his interpretation that wasn't locked out. The part about Rick not telling him was kind of funny. I didn't think about that until they brought it up. Like I don't know if anybody really picked up on that, because we were probably all I don't know how you guys felt, but I felt like I was on a roller coaster ride this whole episode, just trying to take in all the information. And of course, when you're trying to take in so much information, you really get almost none. So that leads us to where we are here. Well, it's just hard to recall this episode being as all. The Blood Ridge scene was amazing. I really loved that. The music was great. It reminded me of the video game, the Eternal Death Machine or whatever it's called, video game sort of run through that we got. The music was just amazing. I absolutely loved it. And the fact that Blood Ridge like turned bad wasn't really, that was really not that they got defeated was amazing. I love that revelation. And then we got Rick being high-roaded by someone, and it was perfect because Bird Person is that type of guy. Like when he shows up to the party in the first place in season 1, he's like, you activated the beacon, like, should we be fighting? He's like, no, come in and party. He's like, yeah, okay. Like, he doesn't seem like, he didn't show up like Squanchy did. He's like, yeah, let's squanch in here. Like, you got anywhere I can squanch? Like, he showed up and he was like, hey, we're supposed to fight now. And he was like, no, it's party time. And he's like, okay. It's been a hard week. So he is kind of like that guy who, I don't know. I don't really have, I don't know. I guess you meet some people, some places in life where you want to hang out with them more than they want to hang out with you. And obviously Rick couldn't hide his excitement and talked about how they have to be awesome best friends. And, and Bird Person was like, yeah, you just go do that. And if you need help, you just call me. Like, so it kind of made Rick out to be like, if you guys have seen Cable Guy, it's kind of like Jim Carrey's character in Cable Guys, always freaking out, trying to hang out with Matthew Broderick. And he's like, dude, you're just like, you're the cable guy. You come over and fix the cable. And he's like, you and me fight together, but like we don't hang out. We're not friends, which is kind of interesting because we've always known Bird Person to be his best friend. And even Squanchy was a little bit jealous at one point. So that, that was just, it was so much crazier. It brought up a point that makes sense. Like we always assume that maybe Bird Person is just very literal, and that's the reason why he, talks monotone. He's not excited about, doing anything. I think the most excitement I've seen out of Bird Person is when Rick's doing the Rick dance and he's got Tammy on his lap and he's just like doing the beat on, drumming the beat on her butt. Or just slapping his leg. I forget what he's doing, but that's like the most excited that we've seen Bird Person. So it all makes sense that, it's not specifically because he's just like a bored or, not interesting, not exciting person. He's not just a person who doesn't show his emotions. He's actually just not really all that interested in Rick as much as we think he is. Which is a crazy revelation. And them doing the hugging, shooting, spinning thing, defeating everybody while the crazy awesome music was happening. It was definitely video game-ish music. That was really cool. It had a little bit of a Star Wars vibe to it, with the the walker aliens. I guess the Grumflemites have these giant walkers, which we've already made reference to AT-ATs in the Rick and Morty earlier last episode. So all that stuff was crazy. It was really cool. I loved that he got to plug himself into his brain and then he had to escape as the brain was falling apart. If you guys haven't seen Eternal Sunshine of a Spotless Mind, that movie is amazing. I would highly recommend going to watch that movie. Jim Carrey in it. Fantastic movie. So if you want a little bit more backstory on how this show was created, because it definitely did follow the premise like better than Rick and Morty normally is. Often Rick and Morty is just like, it's about time travel, so let's just call it Back to the Richter. Like, it's not like they really plan out the episode the same way, but this time they kind of did. Anyways, let's hit up the chat. Let's see what you guys are saying. And we'll talk a little bit more. We do have a super chat. Mr. Matt Conway, good friend of the channel, sends in a $5 or a $4.99 super chat saying, I have watched all the episodes so many times in search of the Flesh Curtains references, but but only season 5 has any. I believe the Flesh Curtains were first made like kind of canon during the comic book. So I know there's lots of comic book references to them. If there's anyone else who can confirm that, I believe it's in the comic books. Justin McEwen would know. I don't think he's here right now, but if he's watching this later, he can message Matt. I think it's in the comic books. Anyways, let's fast back in the conversation a little bit. Never mind. This was when people were arguing. I don't want to talk about that. Alex Roof says, I thought it would be either this or dealing with Time God Jessica. You know what's weird? Like, I would like them to deal with Jessica. I said that before too, because Jessica's an important character in the show, I think, at least to me. She kind of keeps Morty grounded rather than being the crazy, like, Morty's gotten really smart and he's gotten like to be a character who's more like Rick. A lot of people are commenting that he's more and more like Rick every season, but having Jessica around to make him just a teenage 14-year-old boy who's always, trying to get some or, romanticizing about his time with Jessica is something that keeps the Morty character really grounded and not, crazy up to Rick. So I think that she's very important. So I'm hoping that gets resolved as well. I was thinking that they would use the memory eraser gun, but that didn't happen. Speaking of which, that makes a return. The Morty's Mind Blower memory eraser comes back, which is interesting because this was episode 8, which was the episodes where we had Interdimensional Cable 2, and Morty's Mind Blowers, which was in place of that. This time we had not random stories, but they were all memories, and some of them fabricated and some of them real. So it was kind of a clip show in a way. So it kind of does replace Morty's Mind Blowers or Interdimensional Cable, and they use the Morty's Mind Blowers gun to come up with some memories that they could skip to. Squanchy's bad stand-up set that obviously Rick was upset when he found out that he wasn't real, that he had to sit through all that bullshit. And what other memory did they jump into? They went to Blood Ridge at one point, but I don't remember if they went back to that. Anyways, they used the gun in order to get memories. So that was kind of cool that they revisited that. James Cassatelli says, I was thinking the same thing, Alex Roop, unless Beth is also a clone. He also says if it shouldn't matter if Beth's a clone. This is the weird thing. Like, if you're making a clone and it's the exact same person, how is it not the person? It's really hard to say if Rick's daughter died and he made a clone and that clone had all the same memories, how is it not the person anyways? It depends on your spiritual beliefs, really. It's crazy that it kind of pushes your mind to go where, because I'm one of these weird people that, a lot of people don't like this, but I feel like if you can make up an exact replica of a person with all the memories of that person, it's that person. If someone could recreate me by cloning me at this point exactly where I died, if I died and had a heart attack right now and they were able to clone me right now with all my memories right now, it would just be me. Like, I feel like that's me, whereas other people are like, that's a clone. It's different. So a little bit crazy, to think about. So we're definitely going to go back and break down for the Tuesday show. I'm sure I will have broken down already exactly what they said word for word. When, why, is this a memory? Is this something that bird person knows? And we'll get to the bottom of this. But right now I've only seen it once, exactly half an hour ago, like you guys have. So I'm not going through all that. Jay Griff says some Beths are abandoned and some aren't. The reality is where Rick refuses to the portal gun Diane and Beth are killed. Our Rick found a reality where Beth was still abandoned and took over. That's always possible, right, guys? It's always possible that any of these Ricks, even though they say they're Rick C-137, it's always possible that they took over for that Rick. It's so easy to jump into another timeline, and that's what makes Rick and Morty really good. But it's also what bothers a lot of people about Rick and Morty, because you can always say you don't know what Rick it is. You can always say you never know. Like, someone could say, well, yeah, C-137 did this, and you're like, well, you never know. It could be any other Rick. Rick C-137 could have died. They could tell us later he died and he got taken over in between episode, 205 and 206, and you would have to follow it. You would have to. They make what's canon, right? So, when you say C-137, what do you mean? In the first 6 episodes, it wasn't C-137, or was it? The Rick carried over, but the rest of the characters are now from a different dimension. So does that mean, was C-137 the original timeline, and then all those people died? And then what dimension is the one we're in now? Or is it C-137 and he took over that dimension? I don't remember when the first mention of C-137 was. So anyways, it's definitely out on the internet. Someone's probably already figured it out, but you know what I mean? They could tell us anything. They could tell you anything tomorrow and write anything, and you would have to accept it as canon. They could say everything up until now is now erased from canon, just like it happens in Star Wars, things like that. And you just have to accept that is now canon. Or you can sit in your basement and say, that's not my canon, which a lot of people do. Anyways. Alexander DeMello says he doesn't think it's in the comics where it was first mentioned, the flesh curtains. I thought it was, but Adrian Stanfield says, has you tasted the new Rick and Morty drinks they have at Wendy's? They do not have them in Canada, as far as I know. I tried getting them before. It's possible that they have them in some spots, not anywhere that I've been so far. So no, I have not tried the Rick and Morty flavors, much to my dismay. Although I know they are just a combination of other pops, so it's not like anything crazy. It's not like, you could mix up, I think if you could mix up pops in the right way, you could get those flavors anyways. North America Hip Hop says, if you're watching, make sure to like the video, or, guys, the easiest way you can support this video is by pressing like. There's other ways you can, we got Matt Conway in with a super chat, which was really great. You can comment on the video. You can, just by watching the video, you're helping. So I guess that's the easiest way, but liking the video is pretty damn easy and helps us a lot. So if you could hit the like button, I would really appreciate that. You guys don't know how much YouTubers appreciate you pressing the like button. It is beyond what you think it is. They come on and they say that, but small channels like me, I appreciate when you say like. Let's see who else is in here. We got Ryan McKinney in here, which is awesome. I don't even know how to say this name. Anis Amsori? You won't feel anything. You'll be dead. The clone, the clone will feel it's you. Yeah, the clone will. And unless a clone is told it's a clone, it should know that it should know that it's real. So yeah, exactly. That's how I feel. It's just like transporter technology. Apparently, transporter technology, in Star Trek and things like that, is basically killing that person and then transmitting all the data of that person to another transporter, and then recloning that person, reappearing that one person. So you basically die every time you use the teleporter in Star Trek, and then are cloned. So I don't know how to feel about that, but anyways, Matt Whitfield. I mentioned you by accident. I'm sorry. Matt Whitfield. I'm sorry. All right, cool. Well, that's good for the chat from now. Anyways, really mind-blowing episode. To talk about a little bit when we were escaping it. I like bird person running away is also kind of how the eternal sunshine of a spotless mind kind of works away as well. Um, but like him chasing Bird Person through was pretty interesting because that was also another thing where Bird Person didn't want to be found. It got kind of personal. It got kind of the feels in there and how he wanted to. He wanted to die. He realized he was like, I died at my wedding, and obviously he doesn't have any memories past that weren't locked in the vault when they got to there. But like him being like, I died. I just want to die. Like, leave me alone was very interesting, and obviously not wanting to come back to life. It's kind of a soft spot for Rick and Morty fans. I think we always say that the saddest, most feely part of the of Rick and Morty series is kind of where Rick decides that he's going to try and kill himself the one time, and then luckily he passes out before he's able to do it. But I think a lot of Rick and Morty fans are, we're not all suicidal or anything. I'm not trying to say that, but we understand different emotions and depression, I guess. I know I understand depression in my own way, and I know the Rick and Morty fans will understand it a different way, but I think it hits a chord that Rick and Morty fans can obviously appreciate and understand. That Bird Person didn't want to live anymore, which I thought was really cool that they had it in there. I started to get the feelies, and I started to know that this episode was going to be important in canon and important to Rick and Morty fans. When he caught up to Bird Person, and Bird Person had to rationalize that, this Tammy is not my Tammy. She went on to be a bad guy. It was cool that they had closure with him, sort of like building closure with the Tammy that didn't know she was ever evil, because it was Bird Person's recreation of her. And, they got to say, I love you, and got to get closure there, which is awesome because, I mean, for the character to totally move on and not, ask about Tammy, or, I mean, they could have not addressed it at all, but for them to properly close the story, which they don't always do, they got to have, Bird Person get his closure with Tammy. So now I feel like next time we see Bird Person, he could just be there. And it'll be when Rick calls him. Once again, another important thing was we're getting a lot of humanized Rick lately. I think the idea that Rick is the coolest being on the earth is kind of being shattered this season. We got where the Cenobite they captured Jerry, but they captured Jerry to also capture Rick, because Rick was being lame by calling Jerry lame, and Rick being the elitist and talking about how lame Jerry was actually made him lame as well, which is something explained in that, which is, though that whole episode was kind of about popularity and high school type popularity, where, the person you're saying is lame, but the person who's like standing around, making fun of that person is also pretty lame. So we got that kind of shattered Rick's ego to me a lot. And then now we have, Rick, chasing after Bird Person, even though Bird Person is not really, he doesn't treat Rick as a friend the same way that Rick thinks about him, which also leaves Squanchy in like a weird position, because Squanchy would want to jump in there and be Rick's best friend. We have already seen that at the wedding, that he was kind of pissed. Which is another kind of fun dynamic that happens in real life sometimes, where, there's always someone willing to jump in there and be your best friend, but you are chasing after this other character. But it really brings Rick to a point where, he's not the coolest person in the universe. He's not. And I've always said this to fans, like, if you, I'm one of those people who's kind of team, like, if you think that you want to be Rick and Rick is the coolest, and like, I'm totally like Rick. I'm a Rick. You guys are all Jerry's and I'm a Rick. Like, you shouldn't want to be like Rick. Rick is not the perfect being. So I think that this episode kind of supports that as well. Being that, I guess he respected Bird Person a lot, but Bird Person was like, you're just a dude. Like, I'm not really all excited to hang out with you. I don't get that. Why? Alexander, clarify why and doing what? I want Oh, why does Ryan Kinney want more Mr. Meeseeks? I think a lot of people want more Mr. Meeseeks. Mr. Meeseeks is also. It's funny because it's the same thing that the whole existence is pain thing is another thing that Rick and Morty fans definitely appreciate and understand. And the idea, I had a wallet that said existence is pain on it, and it was a Meeseeks. It was all blue, had a Meeseeks face on the other side. But I loved it not just because it was a Meeseeks wallet. I also loved the idea existence is pain, which is, I don't know. It means something to me, especially I kind of study Buddhist philosophy, blah, 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 blah. Buddhist philosophy as well. And that's a lot of that is existence is pain and things is suffering. They call it suffering. But so it makes sense to me in that sort of grander scheme of how things, how life actually is. So I think a lot of people gravitate to the Meeseeks because of that. And they have been shown in a few different ways, but the only Meeseeks episode is really the, Meeseeks and Destroy. Other than that, we got Morty just using Meeseeks to attack the army. We got, them pressing the Meeseeks button to, Mr. Meeseeks killed the evil Morty, the German Morty, and then everyone got sucked out into space, and that was the end of that. Rick got reincarnated into a teddy bear or whatever it was. Harmon Hole says Kirkland. We got the Kirkland brand Meeseeks as well, which was awesome. I got a good friend who works at Costco, so we always make fun of Kirkland brand every once in a while. So that was kind of funny. But just getting another actual Meeseeks episode, I don't think that's going to happen. I'm sorry to I'm sorry to rain in on your parade, Ryan, but I don't think it's going to happen just based on the fact that they have to have the story built around them. They're not really a character. So you might see them in the background. They have been just in background as well. At Blips and Chips, there was a Meeseeks helping someone win whack-a-mole or something like that. I don't think we're going to get that like on its own. Would be really interesting though. I wonder where Bird Person and Rick are going to go from here though. Like when is the next time we see Bird Person, and does it go back to being important, or does it go back to being like not that important? Is this the resolution of Rick and Bird Person against the Federation? I'm not sure how or in what capacity the Federation exists right now. Obviously they've been attacked and blown up, and but they destroyed the Citadel, and then later they destroyed the super weapon with Tammy. Who knows what else they have sitting around. So are we going to see Gromflemites come back? Are we going to see a Bird Person part of that storyline, or what is Bird Person's next storyline is a really interesting thing that comes out of this. I'm about ready to finish off this stream, but I am going to give you guys a couple more minutes. If you guys want to type anything else in the chat, something you'd like to talk about, something you want to, talk about from this episode or from any other episode standpoint, we can stay on for a couple more minutes. I do want to promote that, if you're new here, I have a show every Tuesday, 8 o'clock Eastern. This is a reaction video where I just come on here right after the episode, talk to you guys. You get to come out and hang out with me. If you don't have friends to talk about Rick and Morty with at 11:30 in the night, not in the morning. But if you don't have friends to come and talk to about Rick and Morty, I don't have a lot of friends who like Rick and Morty, other than all my friends in the chat. Most of my friends are not really Rick and Morty people. Then you can come here, but you can also tune into the show on Tuesdays at 8 o'clock Eastern, a little bit more of a practice show. I got segments. We talk about things. We do competitions. We win prizes. I gave away a shit ton of this stuff that you see behind you. I gave away a bunch of stuff just like this recently. So come and check out the Rick and Morty Fan Show on Tuesdays. And that's it for me on that. Let's check the chat. I don't think anything else has happened. All right. Well, I guess we'll end the show there. What an excellent episode. Was super excited to have seen Bird Person. And like I said, Tuesday's episode is probably going to do a lot to do with Bird Person. We can go through the whole timeline of the relationship and see what happens. Kind of break it down. I would like to go through the whole timeline of Bird Person's existence in Rick and Morty, and we'll discuss that. We'll discuss some more things, and we'll probably have a competition, see if we can win some more prizes, guys. For today, though, that's up for me. That's it. Have fun, guys. Appreciate you guys coming out here. Give the video a like, comment, subscribe to Fandom Empire, of course. If you want to get an instant, if you want to be reminded on Tuesday to watch the episode, subscribe to Fandom Empire, and it'll pop up on the top of your phone or computer and say we're on live. And yeah, my shows are pretty much always live. So, all right. See you later. Listen to the music, guys. Took me a while to make. Oh, shit, it's a good show. It's a great show. It's a shit show. Pickle Rick show. Not a Jerry show. Scary Terry show. Lick my balls show. Szechuan sauce show. It's the fucking Rick and Morty fan show, bitch.